Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new live stream. Oh, I am so excited. I actually need to get the internet up and running. I haven't got that up and running to say hi to you guys. But I hope you're all doing well. Welcome. This is going to be a really fun time. I've got Unify 2 right here up and running. And I have some patches, and we're going to dive deep under the skin in a minute or two. Well, in a bit, we'll bring Paul in as well so that he can join us as we explore. I mean, this is his baby. He's done all the. I can't write code, so I get to dream, and then I get to critique. And it's poor Paul that has to take all that and work with it. And it's just been such a really wonderful collaboration to get to this point. We have gone from Unify 1. I'm not going to load it right now because I don't want to blow anything up. To Unify 2. And I don't have it's a different size screen than let's see. I'll go over to OBS real quick. Oh, you know why? How funny. Okay, hold on a second here. It's so funny. You guys are seeing something different on YouTube than I'm seeing. So I want to make sure that I get this to the right size and that it's all good and beautiful. All right. Almost. Oh my gosh. We are live, right? This is the epitome of live here. Anyway, this is Unify 2. And let's do this. I'm going to start with just playing a patch just to show you some of the things we can do. There is so much that, it's like a kitchen sink and you don't want to throw everything at it. So I'll just shut up and play because this is a beautiful thing to play. This is Lost in the Abyss. And this is using the new metronome feature, and it's playing this groove. It's just playing one part. You see other parts sitting there waiting to be turned on, so we can turn it on when we're ready. Play the new notes. And I want to get some automation happening, so I have a really cool, we go here to noise box and turn this on. It's moving parameters. And then we go over here, we have a little ARP added to it. And I'm using some of the new features, like on the pads, the sustain is off, so that but the ARP is on. So down here is this ARP playing through a Unify 2. It still plays even though the pad doesn't, so I can. In the left hand, it's sustaining. And it's supposed to be, we have a feature with this where it's supposed to wait until you turn this on and play. It's not doing that right now, but that's something we're fixing right now. Anyway, this is one patch. Just showing you some of the ranges you can go. How you doing? Let me see what the chat says. No, these patches I'm showing are in the, these are for Unify 2. The Unify 1 has no idea what to do with this metronome. It has no idea what to do with all the cool features that we have inside of GuruSampler 2. We'll talk about the library that's coming with Unify 2 in a minute. Let me show you, I'm going to keep on our path here to show you a little bit with Unify 2's GuruSampler 2 is what we're going to play with right now. But I want to say hi. Yeah. These sounds are from the new unit library. And they're pretty cool sounds. And there's more to this, actually. If I bring down the mod wheel, got a really cool ASMR sound. So, this is everybody playing all together on this patch. Yeah, the groove. Let's go over here to the metronome really quick. And I think I got to just reload it to stop it because it's one of those things we're going to fix. The groove itself, let's see if we were to mute this. The fun thing with this architecture is that this metronome is not connected to this Unify, except for that it's embedded into this Unify. So I have the ability to mute the entire Unify plugin, and this drum metronome, if I have it on, still plays. Now, if I go over here and I click the little triangle to the settings, I can route this 100% to the master, and now it's going into this chain, joined right here to the masters and out. But you can have it in this other way where it's not connected. So you actually have two Unify plugins inside of one patch working together all at once. So you can do rhythmic things. You can do a complete song composition and have this playing audio tracks. You can do, this is this open extra piece of paper in your design studio to embed and put something into. And so I have, this is from, okay, this is from Cloud City. I'll show you what we're doing. So the new library that is coming is called the Super Mega Sampler. And what this is if you go to the website and you put Unify into here, let's do that really quick since we're all together. Go here, save view, never show, go to Plugin Guru. If you go to Plugin Guru, this is where you can pre-order Unify if you want to add it. And if you go right here and if you click Unify, this will show all the libraries that are for Unify. There's something like 40 libraries. Magic Motion, some of Dream State, Uniflow, Retrosphere 2, Space Dreams, Titan 303, Modularity, Endbringers for Diva, so we don't have any of those sounds. Some of these, like Mega Magic Guitars, these are already inside the original Unify library. Ambient Dreams, Big Bad Beats, Moonflower Tapes, Behemoth. I've taken 10% of all of these different libraries. I've gotten, thank you to Bob Deddes and Tim Dale, and who, was there anybody else with libraries? The people that have made library, Frank Newman, who's made Planet Pluck. If you open up GuruSampler, here, I'll put up an original GuruSampler so you can see it here, so you know the layout, right? If you go to the Unified Standard Library, remember how it used to be about that big? It's grown a little bit. It's now this, here, let's get this all the way to the top like this. All of these libraries have had samples added to the Unified Standard Library so that it has grown by from 3.5 gigabytes in size to over 10 gigabytes in size. So you have, if you go to Cyberpunk, there's a select set of patches and sample. The samples are here, and I'll show you the patches in a second for Cyberpunk. And if you go to Big Bad Beats, there's things. If you go to Ambient Dreams, if you go to Cloud City, I could go over here and here's these sounds from there. If you go here to the search of the Super Mega Sampler and you say, let's say Cloud City. So Cloud City, there's 49 patches from Cloud City. There's all these BPM drum patches from 2 different kits. Mel Chaos is this wonderful cat that I worked with. He's like one of my first artist endorsees, which I don't really have, but he's unofficially like my only artist endorsee. And he contributed samples for a drum kit called Chaos. That's his name on Instagram and stuff like that. And so we have all of these really cool grooves from him from Cloud City. The World Percussion Kit, I wanted that inside of this. So these grooves and this kit is here for us to play with. These are all going into this core. I come from the background of making synthesizers with a large ROM of samples. And so I wanted to grow that part of Unify too. I wanted to give us you guys all new sounds to play with. So there are sounds from 27 different libraries in here. If I go to Purity, I now have I'm kind of picking out the sounds that are right. Like, so this really cool bell, the bowls, it's like, yeah, you might have all these libraries already, but by putting them into this ROM, it's not a ROM, I'm just so used to calling it that from my days working on Oasis and stuff, but putting it into this database, let's call it that, right? They now all get to play together. In the past, when I did the Purity library, I could use the select sounds from the standard library plus the sounds from Purity. And Purity, it's got a whole lot of stuff. So I'm not giving everything away at all. Each of these libraries, this is kind of like a calling card in a way. You can see this patches, you can play this, you can go, ooh, I love these sounds. I want more like this. And here's the name of the library. There's the artwork for the library and stuff like that right there for you. So if I say to Renegade, this is the wonderful library that Bob Dead has created. You've got all these really cool things. You've got the scene. You got some swooshes. You got the crowd chant. So if you like this, it'll hopefully inspire you to want to go check out Renegade. So it's kind of a business card for each of these libraries to represent so that you have access. 385 patches are in here. So you can go to here and it shows where the library is. If I turn off our little, am I playing this from, oh, I'm not playing from the, I have the metronome go back away. Go here. This is a sound from Behemoth. Right? We have motion mallet kind of sounds. And this is from Ambient Dreams. If you get up to the drums, there's a 1.5 miles of cool. This is from Rad Bad Beats. I could go up here to Big Bad Beats and like, let's add Oscar. Here, let's use our new mode where we just go like this. Now I can click any patch and it'll load it. And let's go up here. Kendall Cochran, he added a whole bunch of things so we could be here and like, can't sit down. So we have hundreds of new patches for groove. I'm a groove junkie. So that is in the house, really strong. Lots of cool basses. Right? So the library is huge, and I've designed it in Unify 1, which means all of these patches and everything I'm playing right now, I'm given to all you guys that have Unify 1. If you have Unify 2, they're installed automatically in the new library. But I appreciate all of you guys that have been around since day one. And I've gotten permission from everybody to do this, and I think it'd be really fun to give everybody an access to these libraries, sounds, give you a little bit of a taste of all these different grooves, patches, basses. There's the Krumar from the orchestrator I sampled for string theory. Has this and the coveted cellos. So, lots and lots and lots and lots of sounds from lots of our different libraries. All these drum kits are here, so you have the LM1. Never Surrender. Remember when we did the fundraiser for Ukraine? So there's that library from the Recycle libraries. So lots of cool synthy drums. The Star Piano Kit. That's what I was playing in that demo I was showing you. The Titans, World Percussion. And even the circuit kit, the from Space Dreams. There's a guitar from Electric Dreams, so one of 6 or 7 guitars in the library. So there's a lot to play with all over the place. Really, really cool sounds in the library. That is coming with Unify 2. Let me show you some of the cool stuff with what we've done, taking something from, let's do this. Let's call it a patch from the library. Let's go here to something kind of bright. That's not bright. Let's do this. I'm going to type in Behemoth. Behemoth is the library where I was making the biggest sounds possible. This is 200 oscillators sampled in one patch. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say convert this to GuruSampler 2. And now right? So we have this to play with. I'm going to bring the filter down. I'm going to look at this. If you right click on the knobs that all have the little plus next to them, that pops up this really lovely editor where you have all the parameters that you can choose exactly what is modulating it. I have velocity. This is from Unify, the GuruSampler 1. We use velocity a lot of times. Let's turn that off. So we have all the control now on this one filter. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say, I want this to be modulated with LFO2. And then I go to LFO2 and here's the level. Let's bring it up. Let's have it be a sine wave. Let's have it brought down a little bit. So we could do this with Unify GuruSampler 1, right? I mean, this isn't anything new per se. But what is cool and fun is on this LFO2, let's right click on this. You can modulate LFO2 with anything too. So I could modulate with an envelope. I'm going to modulate it to start with key tracking, because this really shows off. As I go up and down the keyboard now, the LFO speed is different. Because it's per voice processing. Each note, even when I play a chord, these like this right here, there are different rates. And then I can also have the rate changed with aftertouch. So now I can go to my keyboard that has aftertouch. You could even have the intensity of this, have it be nothing, and right click and say have this with aftertouch. So now and here it's kind of switching kind of fast between. So you go up here to your aftertouch lag, and this is where you can control how the aftertouch responds. And let's slow it down. And it's per note. So I can use aftertouch and like soften on my pinky and it will slow down the aftertouch for everything else. So it's these are things that we could only dream of with Unify 1 that we are now able to easily get into this territory with Unify 2. So let me bring Paul in. He's been sitting on the sidelines while I'm playing around here. So let's go to I need to go Zoom. There he is. Hello, Paul. Oh, unmute.
I did it again. Hello, everybody. Hi, John.
How are you doing, man?
Always the confusion with, should I unmute the YouTube channel or should I unmute the Zoom call?
I know. It's the joy of live, and we do things on a very low key scale here. We're not trying to like be ultra high in our production, are we? Because we can't, even if we wanted to. How are you doing? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been pretty busy.
Yes.
But we're getting there. There's a few more minor things to fix, and right now our focus is just on stability and making sure that nothing is crashing and that all of the features work as they would be expected to work. And so yeah, I think we're getting there. We're pretty close to ready.
Yes.
Which is as it should be, because it's going to be released next week.
Yes.
But yeah, there's a lot of new stuff coming. But rest assured that there will be more things coming in future as well. We do plan to tweak things and enhance things as we go along.
Yes. Yeah. When you've been coding and stuff, what's been one of the fun things? I'm sure it's probably GuruSampler too that you put together for this update. What?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to think about the design overall, but making GuruSampler 2 a completely new thing was, that's where I really enjoy the design aspect of making a new plugin.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed bringing a lot of extra capability to GuruSampler 2. Now it's kind of like a synthesizer plugin in effect. It's not just a sample. Well, not that it was just a sample player, but
yes.
There was already modulation capability in there, but now you can really go wild.
Yes,
and,
you can.
I think I really like to see the visual feedback of things like the filters or the envelopes changing and seeing the knob modulations.
Yes.
So yeah, I was very happy to bring that into the plugin. I think it really helps to understand what's going on with your patch design.
Yes.
And actually, when I first created the design for the modulation scheme, I hadn't thought about making that mixer panel. That was your suggestion, John.
Yes.
So that was great. It's good that we work together, because bouncing off ideas off each other really helps to bring out these unique, or not necessarily unique, but things I wouldn't have thought of as a developer.
Right.
and you would think of as a musician more. Well, not that I'm not a musician, but you're the one that uses Unify all the time,
Yes.
and to have it work in a way that you feel comfortable with is great. And so
Yeah, just
having
having
that panel pop
the
up was,
immediacy to like see what is
yeah.
doing something. I mean, for those, let me. I'm going to put you into the corner for a second. Not a bad way, just so I can show the interface.
Naughty corner.
Yes. Time out for you. What he's talking about here. What's nice is also Unify 2 is scalable, so you can click and drag to, let me make sure that when we are inside of OBS, you can see this. As you can see, there are little rings. One thing that he's adding this week is that you'll be able to modify the color of these rings for the plugins. All the plugins he's gone through and updated. So like if we were to add, like if you look at Noisebox, it has a whole new look to it because it's been put into a system and kind of cleaned up a little bit for spacing and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, I went through every single plugin this week in the built-in plugins just to make sure all the knob sizing and spacing was consistent. Yes. Because we had some of them where they had big knobs and others they were tiny, and it just looked a little strange. So
yes,
we've cleaned that up, and now they kind of have more of a common vibe to them.
Yes, we like common vibe. That's a big mantra for us to, it's Unify. Everything's got to be unified. But check this out. So when we're playing this patch, oh, did I change something here? Oh, I've got it off. So as you can see, nothing's moving because LFO2 is off. But if I just go over here and bring this up, the filter is now moving in two ways. The knob is moving, so you see what's being modulated, but you also see the result to the filter itself. Now, another cool parameter that was added by Paul is this split, which will lean it to one side or the other of the stereo spectrum. And I can go over here. We have 3 LFOs. So I could say right-click on split, LFO 3, bring up this, and now it's going really slow, so let's speed it up. You have control over that, and this poor filter is now being beat up by 2 different sources, but it's doing its best to show you what's going on. So, and again, it's per voice. There's key tracking changing the rate of the LFO too. So
yeah, this is some pretty extreme modulation.
Yes,
I like to go sometimes a little bit more subtle by using that toggle button.
This is a live stream, man. We got to show people.
The toggle feature lets you, and every key down, you'll get an alternate value of +1 or -1.
Right.
So you can use that to do stereo splits for every next key. So you can like do a pan spread effect by assigning toggle to split or to pan. I find that's quite a nice effect personally. Yeah, I quite enjoy that.
What key tracking for that?
They're using the toggle button.
Oh, the toggle button.
The toggle
voice
modulation
toggle
source.
Yep.
So if you just sort of have a little bit of toggle, not the key track, the voice toggle.
Right. I'm doing it extreme so you can really notice. But
but then every time you hit a key, it will switch sides. It's a great way to get.
Playing...
it's a great way to get a nice stereo effect from a mono sample, even.
Right. Even mono samples come to life very nicely with that. Here, let me do this. Let me have LFO2 kind of, as Paul was saying, tame it down a little. And let's bring up the filter envelope generator. And now you can hear that it's panning because we still have the toggle happening from LFO3, or actually it's not even an LFO at this point. It's another parameter besides the LFO. So if I play chords, I mean, there's so many places to play. Also to this filter is now a saturation, which just puts some really nice hair on the sound. From nice and clean to some really cool. It's lovely to play with. So the power of the filter and the modulation system is just one of the really cool places. As you can see, here, let's call this back up so it's initialized. One cool thing you can do is if you right click on a patch, you can say convert everything automatically to GuruSampler 2. So if the patch has 6 layers that are Unify GuruSampler 1, this will set it up so that everything is GuruSampler 2. Another thing Paul did that I love, and I pointed out this week, he's like, I was wondering if you're going to pick up on it. You only have to single click on the plugin windows to open them. You don't have to double click. So it's like your DAW. Logic works this way. Other DAWs, I think, work this way. So it's just lovely to have the ability to just click to open up the plugins. As you see, the sample display changes. We now have a little hand here, which if I want this sample, right now it's playing. If I go here to all the samples, it will list all of the samples that were used to make this sample map. It's fairly extensive. Lot of samples. But if I wanted to go, what would that sound like in Omnisphere? Because Omnisphere only plays one sample, I could hit the hand, that freezes it so that now I have one sample stretched across the keyboard. And you hear it totally falls apart in the bottom half of the keyboard versus playing lots of samples. So yay for lots of samples, right? And you have the ability to freeze and then edit if you want to work from there. We have all of our other things as far as the forward, reverse, palo, mono, legato is here. Whether the key is pitched or unpitched is here. So if I want to be unpitched and just play one sample, now I have this just playing one sample across the keyboard. Or I can say pitch. We have 3 envelopes. The filter, the amp are over here, and then we have a utility envelope here. They work basically the same. A couple things that are kind of cool to point out. We now have 3 different curvature settings for the envelope, how it's going to work. So let's do this. Let's get this back to having velocity. If you double click on these, it resets them to 0. So let's play with the decay. Now, if I change this to linear, it's like an analog synthesizer from the 80s, you know? If I set it to exponential, it's super smooth. And now you really have to bring up your decay. And it's like just beautiful. And then we have kind of an in-between called the natural, which is a little faster, but it lets it keep some of the impact in the attack portion. That very, very first, like 15% of the decay has more to it than this. So depending on what kind of a sound you want to make, you have your choice with the envelopes. We also have velocity curve. So you can like, no velocity curve, you can invert the velocity curve. Make it really sensitive if you want. Or make it the opposite, where now, when I play harder, it goes into the negative instead of the other way around, which is really nice. And then with 3 LFOs. And these envelopes, or the LFOs, have all the shapes, including custom shape that we had inside of GuruSampler 1. So all 3 LFOs can be set to your own custom multi-breakpoint, multi-segment LFO shapes. And you can set these to one shot, and they can sync to the whole host sync and so forth. Other nice things is there's now a fade in and a smooth. Let's do this. Let's go to... Actually, let's do this. Let's hit
that fade in thing is really cool for vibrato.
Yes.
Quite often you would use the mod wheel to add vibrato, but having that fade in parameter on a solo sound,
yep,
It's really handy.
It's lovely. So let's go to the sine wave. Let's have a little... And then let's go over here, and we want to have LFO to the pitch, right? So that would be up here. Our tuning parameters are here, right? So we can play with this. If you right click, let's do it to fine, and let's say LFO 3. And so we bring up the intensity to LFO 3, and then we have to go to LFO 3 and that's my like chord. Well, I can make it stronger, right? So that's our typical LFO fade in. And it's, again, it's per voice. So let's get to be a little bit brighter. So let's go to like a square or sawtooth. Get like a little bit like a trump. You know, and it gets stronger because I have it too strong. So you just bring down your level of how much you want it to be. If you want to assign this to your modulation wheel, you just bring down the level and then right click and say, I want to assign this to my mod wheel or to aftertouch or both, just by bringing these up. And so let's have it. No LFO till I use aftertouch or mod wheel.
So that's one way to assign a modulation. But if you, for example, wanted to assign the mod wheel to multiple things at once, you can click the little mod wheel button in the sources area.
Right.
And then you can concentrate just on the mod wheel itself.
Right. So that's this area down here of boxes that we were going to get to. We hadn't got there yet. And here we are. So we'll talk about them. If you click mod wheel, this pops up all the modulation sources. So make sure you can see it. I have it a little bit too big on the screen. There. Oh, wait. I got just a little bit smaller. There we go. So we have these boxes for each of the modulation destinations. Mod wheel, aftertouch, or these are sources. Destination is where it's going to go to. Sorry, I had it backwards. If I want, I have this set so you can see right here that it's set for this. But if I wanted to, I could also have it. Let's turn this off. Let's get this to be softer. And then I can say I also want aftertouch to be set for the filter. So now aftertouch, and you can see the amount.
And you can also set negative amounts by going the other direction.
You can go the negative and it goes red. And you can also do things to the attack. So let's say we have the attack be nice. Let's have it like not use mod, but we're going to use velocity. I'm going to make it slow. And then I'm going to go over here to velocity. And I'm going to say, I want you to speed it up. So even the envelope parameters for the attack, decay, sustain can be modulated by any of the things you see here on the list. If you hit right, if you go over here and turn off velocity and right click on attack, that same box pops up with all these. Also, what's really nice is we set this up so you could choose what you want to see. So if you want to see the LFO1 depth, what's assigned to that? Here's all the parameters in GuruSampler 2. You can assign parameters too. So it just makes it easy to have everything right there immediately accessible on the screen to set things up exactly how you want.
Yeah, and one thing to point out is that with that panel, you can also select the all destinations. So it's a quick way to look at an existing patch and see how it's been designed from a modulation perspective.
Right.
And you can just see what all the assignments are currently, and you can scroll through them.
Right. That's very, I didn't even know that. That's awesome to have so it filters out everything to just the ones that have something.
And it's also a quick way if you want to clear the whole modulation scheme and you just want to get rid of everything, you can hit the clear modulation amounts.
Oh my gosh.
It resets it.
You are showing power controls, dude. That's cool. Yeah, as you can see, there's a button right down here that says clear modulation amounts. This is on a per basis per parameter. So if I right click on the LFO, which is doing this, if I hit clear amount, everything goes to 0. Now if I right click on the filter cutoff, here's the things going to filter cutoff, turn those off. now it goes nice and. So it's very easy to work with on that front. Any questions? Let me see if there's any questions from you guys. Do you use Unify in your work? Let's see. Yes, we have another parameter thing I want to show you that's really cool is every plugin, including every third-party plugin you load, there's a menu that Paul has designed into the little window. It's a lot of the DAWs have this type of a thing where you can go over here and you can choose presets and load a preset just by right-clicking, by just selecting it. And I'm making template presets as we go right now, so that has been really handy. If you go to any of our, let's say that you called up your favorite plugin, you could save, if I go over here and if I said Serum, let's see if I can spell Serum 2, if I call up Serum 2, in its little place right here, there's an update. No, I don't want to update right now. So there's preset saving right here. So it just adds another layer of depth to our preset saving. You have the preset saving already here where you can say replace from a layer, and I could go to GuruSampler and I could choose the piano from here and it will load the layer. We now have that ability to do that inside of the actual plugins themselves, which is really nice and handy. So anything to add to that stuff?
No, there was somebody asking about sample import. I was just saying on the chat that
yes,
for the moment we have single sample import in GuruSampler 2, yes, and it lets you bring in a sample and then it automatically creates an SSZ file for you, and it puts the file in the correct location based on the target folder you selected or the target library. And yeah, you can just drag and drop files into the import panel. And create as many samples as you like, and they'll appear in the list under the library which you imported them to. So, you know, typically you would import them to your user library, and it will create that samples folder and the SFC files that reference them.
Right. The green running man icon is the graphics for that particular thing. Some people want to see things moving. Some people might not want to see them, so Paul put in the ability to stop the animation if you want. Like here, see how it's doing its thing, right? If I hit the running man off, it's just a static, you know. So let's tie this into something else.
Oh, sorry, one more thing I want to mention, which you haven't shown, is that you can actually click on the graphs and move your mouse around, like on the filter graph. If you left click on it, you can move the filter cutoff and resonance. And if you right click, you'll move the saturation and split parameters. And a similar thing on the envelope controls. You can drag your mouse in the envelope area and it will change the curves of the envelopes.
Right.
So which can be handy. I mean, the knobs are great, but
some people like to work that way. Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to move the resonance and the filter cutoff at the same time, rather than have to tweak the individual knobs.
Let's see 1 second here. Ivar, I'm sorry, I'm giving you a timeout for 10 minutes. Please stop talking about ambient music with everybody, okay? So I want to do something fun with our new step sequencer, and I'll tie that in with GuruSampler 2 at the same time. So we have a new MIDI effect added to Unify 2 called step sequencer. And we're going to go over here and say step sequencer. And here's step sequencer. And I'm going to say 16th notes. It's polyphonic, so you can... and you can see there's parameters here for the pitch is up here. So if I just click around, you have, this is the gate time down. And here's your velocity. Now, there's a couple cool things that are really fun. There is a learn steps, so you can just say, and it's learned. Now, if I want, I can, let's have this play for a second. If you hold down the shift, it turns your mouse into a, as you can see, like a paintbrush. You just hover over, you hit shift, and it will, whatever value you're hovering over is what becomes the value for both pitch, velocity, and duration. So let's make everything short. And then I can ramp it up. So that's really fun. Also, if you do something crazy, like if you use the shift and you just have this do like crazy scale stuff, like I have no idea what it made. It has a scale and chordal filter here that you can use. So if I say like minor blues, they'll take it to a minor blues. Or if I say harmonic minor. So that's fun.
A quick note about pitch, because there's a question in the chat.
Yes.
You can actually hit the learn steps button, and then you can actually manually play the notes in yourself from the keyboard.
Yes.
Which is quite handy, obviously. Otherwise, you can see the pitch values at the bottom of the sliders.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I did at the very beginning. If we say learn steps.
Might not have seen that.
Well, you play it first, and that tells you the root note you want, right? I'm still learning how some of these things work. So you hit once, and you say, this is my G. So the first time you play a note is giving it its root of what is. Well, let me go. I've got a chord scale. Let's say off. So now the thing typically with these arpeggiators, when you transpose, it plays certain notes and it sounds right, and other notes it doesn't sound right. That's where you can go down here and say, I played this as kind of it was more of a minor thing, so I just say minor pentatonic. Now wherever I play, it will smartly transpose the notes to keep it minor. Let's say minor blues. There's so many of these cool options to play with. There's also the option, if you go down here to custom, where you can set up the scale to be exactly what you want. Like I just want C's and G's to be played. So anything that's not a C or a G is going to get transposed to the next nearest. So if I play anything other than a C or a G, it's going to shift me to no, you're going to be on the C's and the G's. So you can define the scale of what you want it to spit out and make sure that it plays properly as you play in different places on the keyboard. Because all of these arpeggiators, it's so fun to use pitch and all sorts of stuff to make a cool thing. And in most arpeggiators, now when you play different notes on the keyboard, some notes it plays it right because they're in the right math to line up to be still minor, but other times it's major or it takes it to another type of a scale that just doesn't work. So it's really, really cool to have this filtering of the notes at the output of the arpeggiator. Do you have something to say, Paul?
Yeah, somebody's saying, oh, the demo sound that you're using is hurting their head.
Oh,
I might agree. It's maybe not the best sound to
Sorry.
demonstrate.
I'm sorry. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to
There are nicer sounds that we could demo the
yes.
ARP with for sure. Or this, I shouldn't call it an ARP, it's a step sequencer. It
Yes.
really was designed to be a very simple interface with limited features on purpose.
Yeah.
It's really, if you want something fancy and complicated, you can load Blue ARP. It's built in, not built in, but bundled with
Yes.
Unify 2. And we've now included the very latest version of Blue ARP,
Right. Right.
which has a very nice guitar strum feature.
Yes.
But if you just want something quick and easy to generate some chords or some simple sequences, this is a really fast way to get something going.
Yes. Yes. And there's features that we've talked about that we might be adding in the future to this. It's a growth project. This is like the first iteration of it. So we're welcome for feedback if there's ideas you have and stuff, and we can mull it over and talk about it and figure out how long it would take to do. Because believe it or not, just adding a simple thing to an interface like this, where it takes a massive mountain of work to, it's not fun in some cases. So I'm very careful about asking for things.
It's tricky. We've just been debugging issues with tide modes this week, and it's
Yes.
kind of a can of worms. It's you fix one thing and something else comes up.
Right.
But I think we're almost there. But yeah, the little T buttons, they let you tie the notes together so you can make longer beats.
Yeah, I wanted to show that really
They
quick.
also let you do, if you set your synth to mono legato, it will let you do legato steps even between different pitches.
Right. I'm still going to use an irritating sound. I'll turn it down and try to make it not quite so irritating. I mean, anything you're arpeggiating is going to, sound that way to a certain extent. But let's do this. I'm going to make this mono legato. So let's say legato and give it some glide. And let's see if I can get this to work. I got to reset my settings here so that it has everything it needs to play. And I'm going to set everything be closer to 0. And it's not playing because... Why are you not playing? Yeah, it's tricky to get things back to 0. Let's see here. 0, 0. Is there a shortcut for something to get it to 0 step?
Not yet. That's a button we're going to add maybe later this week.
Yeah. It would be handy.
Well, obviously you do have the menu with the
we'll be
template
making
presets.
So
we'll probably
presets.
add a few
templates,
sure, including a blank setting.
Yes. What I want to show is I know it's irritating, but it won't be for long. So let's go over here. I'm going to put the amp envelope to be short, like this. And then what's fun is to go over here and say LFO. Let's set it to notes. And let's say we want it to be like a quarter note just to start with. And right click on decay and say, I'm on envelope or LFO 3. So you can modulate even the decay of the envelopes for like guitar things and so forth. This is just a really rudimentary example, and I don't want to irritate people too much. But you can modulate the attack, and if I wanted to, I could go. There's a whole bunch of TB303s in our new library that I've added from a couple different sources. But anyway, I think that gets the point across of what we can add there. So you can already save art presets. There's a number of ways to save it. We have, I haven't fleshed it out yet, but if you go over here to the loading and saving of templates, you can save your own favorite default. As you can see, for any plugin, you just go save default state, and that becomes the. Let's do this. Let's say I recall this.
Yeah, if we have the default set to an empty sequence, then you'll be able to use that effectively as your reset button.
Right. So,
but you can always save your own default if you prefer to have something different.
Yes. So if I've messed this up and I've got something going on, and let's get back to here, and I've changed it to this. if you go up to the menu and you say load the default state, it'll reset it to the saved default state that we'll have set for each of the patches. So that's when I've been building this crazy library for the last 10 days or so. So I'm done finally with that process. So we now get to make all of our fun Unify 2 patches. I really wanted to make sure that it was tough because I made it in Unify 1 so that it would work with everybody that owns Unify 1. I wanted to really try to keep that intact. So all the patches in the Super Mega Sampler are all Unify 1 patches that will work in Unify 1 and 2. I'm not making any patches in here that aren't from the libraries themselves. So one thing I want to point out, if you get this and you own some of these libraries, you will see duplicates if you set the library list to all libraries, right? If I go here to all libraries, you'll see, I don't know if I'll see some here but you'll see duplicates in certain cases, but they aren't the same as the duplicates in the same folder where you can't load one or the other. So just so we're clear there. The other thing is if you go over here and say reveal in the Finder, I have carefully put everything into their own folder for the library it came from. So if you own Cloud City and you don't want the duplicate patches, just delete it from here. And then you have the full library to go to if you want. But even by doing that inside of GuruSampler 2, the samples, this whole cool list of all the sample libraries, that doesn't go away. Even by deleting the patches, the samples, these are embedded into the Unify standard library when you install this library so that they're there for you to use. Regardless of what library you're working with or what you're doing, you'll have access to all of those sounds, right? So now let's get to another place that's fun as somebody just, I think that, yeah, that's Paul just commented. The LFOs in the macro knobs. That's the other area that's fun. I was going to put together a thing. Let's do this. Let's go to the full Super Mega library and say 303. Because there's all sorts of different 303s in the library.
John, because I'm listening to the Zoom call and I don't hear the YouTube feed.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering, did you play that patch that you shared to me last night? Because that was so nice.
Oh, let me. I
think that's a great demo of
yes,
how GuruSampler 2 can work with all of the modulation that you've set up.
Okay, let's do it. So this is.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt what you're doing.
No.
That was one I was hoping you were going to show today because it's such a nice sound.
Yes. Let's start. I'm trying to figure out where I want to start because I made this patch and it gets big because I have a bigger version of the patch. This is the start. And it's basically, let's see if we expand this. As you bring up the mod wheel, so I'm using Aftertouch. I think I might have said in a live stream that we were supporting MPE. We do support MPE, but we are not, GuruSampler 2 is not MPE compatible. But if you have an MPE keyboard and you call up a plugin that has MPE flexibility, the one thing that we do have in Unify 2 is polyphonic Aftertouch. So as I'm playing this, I can play these notes and let it just sit there, and then I can play notes with my right hand. And it doesn't affect the sound of those in my left hand, which is just lovely. It's so nice. So I take this and I put this into a bigger patch called Analog Butterflies. And if you want to hear analog butterflies without the LFOs doing all their fun things, it's a lot better with the LFOs and all the fun stuff. And the mod wheel. And then it gets even crazier. Truth is Truth is the bigger version of this. So we now have let's add the metronome. Got a sequence going on. Turn on the LFO. Go up to the metronome if you want. Let's turn on some more parts. So you got like a little propeller heads thing, you know? And there's also a sub bass, so we can turn that on. Just some of the, I mean, there's so many places to play with this now and get all sorts of really fun things going. And having a separate Unify just hanging out there ready to like be, adding that to your track without it going through the processing of the other sounds that you've designed is just a crazy, really, really fun thing. I have one more patch to show. Is there something you want to add, Paul, to the fun so far? Okay, here's another patch to show really quick. This is called Lost in the Abyss, and it's taking a couple sounds, and I'm doing some splits between the left and the right hand to start with, and then I have some cool hits. So we have this in the left hand, and if you hit really hard, get a cool trailer hit type of thing. And then you have these lovely two sounds with the LFOs doing their lovely things. Now, if we want, we could turn on our arpeggiator for the right hand. And I'm using the sustain off for these two pad sounds. So they go away, but the arpeggiator keeps playing. And then on the mod wheel, water. Isn't that cool? And then we have that metronome, which I can set up, and now
sounds awesome.
Isn't that nice? And then we open up the metronome, and there's another dude just sitting there ready to go. And I have an automation knob here, so we turn this on. It adds modulation. Isn't that fun?
Right, that's maybe a good segue into talking about the macro modulations, because one of the questions in the stream earlier was about, oh, could I use the step sequencer to modulate some parameters? Well, not currently, although I'll let you into a little secret. I was working secretly on a MIDI step sequencer, MIDI CC step sequencer, which is in the works in the background, probably not for the 2.0 release.
Right.
But I do have a little a version of the step sequencer that would be for CC control coming. But in the meantime, the macro knobs are super powerful in that you can set them up with multi-step sequences, and they can act as step sequences, and they can be linked to the tempo and the transport. So you can use those, and you've got 32 of them.
Yes.
On each Unify instance.
It's insane power. And what's lovely is that the strength of the macro knobs is that it is available to every plugin you have loaded. So this is also a segue. I will show you there's a couple plugins that have come out that I thought were really cool. I wanted to tell you guys about and show you. And what's fun is that they really benefit from having macro knobs start moving parameters around, because especially the second one I'm going to show you. The first one, let's do this. Let's go to just a piano. Anyway, so you can see the power. I'm just having such a great time, and I'm not even getting into every area of what we have controllability to work with, but to have this at your disposal from something that can load any plugin you want. Like if I don't like my left-hand part, and I just got the upgrade to Omnisphere 3, and I want that to be this really cool sound on my left hand, all I have to do is go to the left-hand sound, which is right here, and say Omnisphere, and load it. And now Omnisphere is taking over the role of being this massive bass sound down there, So we work with everybody. The power with Unify is that we're not committed to any company or to any specific, it's not a political thing with us. We work with everybody, and we want everybody to just have fun and interact, and we want to give you as many tools as possible. One thing that I think is really cool that we did update these meters that show you what's going on. I mean, the update to Omnisphere looks awesome, but they didn't update the mixer for the VU meters or any of that stuff. So you still don't know the level of any of the parts if you have multiple parts playing. Here you do. Also, I don't think Omnisphere 3 is multiprocessor savvy. Here, if you load 3 layers of Omnisphere, you get 15, 20 more notes because of multiprocessor capabilities than you do if you were to play Omnisphere and play 3 parts inside of one Omnisphere, because it's only able to talk to one thread. Unify, every layer is on its own thread to your computer, so it gives you a lot more efficiency in that respect. So we work with everybody. We love everybody. The people at Spectrasonics are like family to me. I have made 35, 40 libraries for Omnisphere that you can buy at my website. I owe them a great debt of appreciation for making such a great product that people love to buy patches for. That's what got me started in the early days. So, it's all good. It's all really good stuff. Let's do this. I'm going to call up a simple sound and then show you. We're going to do a piano first for this first thing. So let's go over here to piano, like this. Okay. The first plugin is called, what was it called? LowFinity. So we go over here, we hit the plus, LowFinity. Is that right? LOFINITY. I spelled it wrong. There's no W. This is a vintage, it's another one of those cool plugins, but it has some really cool presets because it gets into there's some reverb and some things in here. So right off the bat, there's weird stuff. I mean, it really can take sound into some cool places. And then all you have to do is go to the macro knobs, right click on a knob, and hit the plus button. And you know, we're going to go to the master section to the effects. And here's LowFinity, and you can see here's all the parameters that we have access to. So we could call any of these up and modulate them, set them up either to be moving or just be available so you can automate changing them inside of other parameters from other plugins if you so desire, so forth like that. And it's like a $17 plugin, so it's on sale. I think its retail is going to be $80. A lot of companies, they do this thing now where they put it at a high retail and then they just basically make it super cheap in hopes that they get like lots of people to come buy it. So if you want something for interesting sound design, this is a cool place. It does more than just your store normal fuzzy things. It does a lot of things on top of that as well. You know, it has a cool sound to it. So I thought that was... You know, I mean, take a pat. So that's pretty cool. So that's one plugin. The next plugin is really, really cool. And I'm going to do this. Let's go to Behemoth. And we need to be in the new library for this because I want a big, bright... Let's put it on this. This is called Uzu. UZU. So let's go over here and let's call this up as an insert effect. So go UZU. And this is a really cool plugin. It's playing with phase. So it's doing just some really cool things. They have a speed, which like, it's cycling the width, but it's not. What if I want to modulate the depth? What if I want it to be like that? So all you have to do is let's go to a knob that doesn't have anything assigned to it and hit the little ear. So it's flashing green, and then call up Uzu and move depth. And it immediately goes, got it. So here it is. And then hit run. And now that parameter is moving. And you can control the rate and the depth. And if you want, you can add breakpoints. So you can... It's not that it's just an LFO. It can be any shape of path. And that's one parameter. And then if I hit stop, and if I hit the ear right here again, I could also go to blur and tie that in, and it has its own path that's different than the depth. So now when I hit run, let's slow it down. So you have these controls to just modulate everything you want any way you want. If I go here, if I say reset curve.
And regarding step sequencing, you could set the knob to detented or multi-step,
Right.
and then you can effectively have a step sequence within the LFO.
Right. So let's go to what Paul is talking about is right here. If you go here to control type, I hope you can see this in the interface because it's down here in the corner. You can see it, right? If you go to the little indentation for each knob, you can change what it is. I could set it to a fader, and now it's a fader. And so just depending on how you're going to work with it, if I wanted to just be an on and off toggle, I have toggles. So it can toggle when it gets to one value above 50, it goes to the other toggle. The one that Paul's talking about that's really cool is called selector. And now it's going to be changing, and you can say how many indentations you want it to be. So let's go to detents, and let's say 8. And now when I right click this, oh, it's over here. It broke out. So right click, there it is. Now it's still smooth until I click my little indentation button here. for each one. One can be smooth, the other one could be not. Let's have them both be. And now each one of these is step sequence value things. Now my depth is too high, so I'm going to bring. Get to the sweet spot where. And then if I want, I could go to the shape, and instead of it being this shape, it's interesting, it still shows the shapes. So, this is doing a whole different thing now to Uzu. Check out what Uzu's doing. And this is just on one knob. If I wanted another knob to be doing a smooth sweep of like this. So let's say, grab the ear, go back to, oh wait, I gotta, I gotta, hold on, option reset. You have to turn off automation when you want to add automation to something else. So if we go over here and we hit the ear and we go to Uzu and we move this, which is the hertz. So it's doing all this really cool stuff. I want this to be a triangle shape, so I can right click. I can say, I don't know if I've made the curve. I haven't made the curve presets yet, have I? Okay, so we'll just make a triangle like this. And we hit run. So I could have that doing that while this other one is doing that to the other two. So I'm using two knobs and I'm changing 3 parameters in different ways with each parameter. Isn't that cool? It's just the coolest. So let me give you the link for this. This is kind of an underground. This is a cat. He like makes a video on YouTube and he posts the link and he doesn't put it on the website. You can't actually find it on his website, but he makes some of the coolest plugins. I love these guys. So that's the power of Unify. Is here's something that has one control for an LFO that controls what they decide you want to control. With Unify too, you can say any knob you want to control, any way you want to control it. You can assign parameters, and there's 32 knobs sitting here just ready. If I had a reverb after this, I could be modulating parameters in the reverb. If I had distortion after that, I could be modulating parameters in the distortion. So that's the power of this, is that you've got these really cool knobs. When you go to the play page, they're still there, available to be seen. One thing we have also on the, we have this master play button that if we set these up, let's click each one. If it's enabled in the global run stop over here, that adds an additional layer to it. You can have some knobs that are modulating and you don't turn them off unless you just turn off the button over here. But I was thinking of this ability to be able to have a global start and stop for the controls. And we'll add this so that it's a modulation source. Right now, it's a button down here in the interface. So you can have it where it's just playing without that. And then when you hit this, it will start up lots of knobs. All 32 knobs could take off with this. Right? And then when I'm ready, I stop. Wherever you stop, it freezes. It would. Isn't that cool? So, this kind of power with all of your plugins is just, that's what we're really excited about for you guys to get to start playing with. So, Unify 2 will be shipping on Friday. For those of you just joining us, link works for you. Okay. Okay. One last thing to show you, and this is a new one from our friends at Cable Guys. I worked on their, was it Curve 2? Was a synth they like 10, 15 years ago. And so we've been friends ever since. I'm going to call up, and they send me whatever they have new so I can show you guys. Let's call up the 12-string guitar from Mega Magic Guitars. It'll be kind of interesting to put this on this. Let's do the picked. That's the fingered, which is nice and mellow. Let's go to the picked. And let's put Shaperbox on this. So we go to the Master Effects, say Shaperbox. They have a new plugin that they've added to Shaperbox called Pitchbox. And with this, you can just double click and it does whatever the envelope says. It's doing that to your audio in real time, which is there's, of course, parameters for doing things. If you go to their patches, they have some really fun patches. I love their interface where they have up here are all the different effects. They have little dots for which effects are used in which patch. So like here's, let's call it, like there's a couple here that are really crazy. Octavate for the... It's taking my guitar and octavizing it. Here's Siren Disco, so the guitar with all their parameters turns into a drum groove. It's doing all that to a guitar. So you play a happy chord, and then so let me give they have a special going on with Shaperbox 3. You can get the whole thing with all the things unplugged for like, I think $89. Pitchbox is like $39 if you want to add that. So anyway, I like to show new plugins. I'm sorry, it's one of my favorite things to do. So those are 3 plugins for the week to show you. Any questions? If you have specific questions to Unify 2, we can show them. I could go back to showing you some other cool things we have in Unify 2, but I want to open the door so you guys can ask questions if you want, so we can be happy to answer them. And while you're typing, I'm going to go over here and... Paul, what should we show next?
Oh, great question. Great question. I think we've covered most things. I guess it depends on if people have specific questions. One person was asking earlier about the audio input and output capabilities.
Oh, that's one thing I want to show.
We haven't really talked about that.
I want to show that. Yes, I have things all set up to show you that, actually. So
yeah, so you can play your guitar into the Unify layers. You can speak into a layer and have an effect on it.
Right.
And you can pipe the layers to individual outputs, different speakers or different virtual outputs in your DAW.
Yep.
So that's well worth covering.
Yes. Let me make sure that I have under audio MIDI, you'll want to make sure that you have your outputs and inputs turned on for your interface. That's one step to make before you get to working with the audio stuff. Because if you don't turn those on, you won't see anything show up. As it is, though, I have it to where I have now an input, and I could say I want input. Let's see, this is 1. I think it's input 2. And now I'm playing my Hydra synth inside of Unify. So I could have that going on, and then I could go over here and I could say I wanted to get like some sort of a cool, let's see, I'm in this. Let's say we want to add that violin crew mark to this. So we say add that. So I'm playing my Hydra synth while I'm playing. I'm playing Hydra synth just by going to the inputs and adding it, and then I can keep adding to my Unify layers at the same time. If I have multiple inputs, as you see, this has the audio interface I have has 4 different inputs. If I say 1, this is my microphone. So now my microphone is doubled. And so you could have 6 layers that had different audio input settings. And as you see, this loads an audio input plugin. And it's set right now to stereo. If I set this to mono, now it's taking the left side and sending it to both speakers, both left and right. So I have the ability to set inputs to anything in my system that my audio interface I have a feeling this will inspire a lot of you to want to upgrade your audio interfaces to lots of audio inputs and outputs, because now you can configure your computer and all your audio, set this up and save it as a patch. That's the power, is that you can do this in a DAW, but then it's buried into that song and you have to call that song up to get it. Here it's a patch you can call up in any DAW on your PC, on your Mac, whatever you want to work. And to show you the power of this, let's go over here and let's call up Invoke. E-N-V-O-K-E. Oh, wait. I'm not spelling it right. That's made by... Oh, E-N... What's the new vocal processor? I can't remember the name of it. It's... Minimal. It's made by Minimal. That's who it is. Minimal. Where is it at? Evoke. Here it is. I didn't spell it right or something. Anyway, I'm loading this up now to go onto the input, and there's an update for it. That's nice. So now my voice is being fed into this effect. This is one of those things you would have to set up. Here, let me turn this off for a second. It's kind of irritating. But this is one of those things you would have to set up in your DAW, route multiple channels. Here it's an input, add evoke over here. Say I wanted to pitch track by MIDI. And now I'm playing my voice. And I have my voice running through this too. And so I can go to all the patches in here. Oh, here, let's see. Let's get rid of the crew marks so we don't hear that. So go away and go over here. Call up invoke. I'm going to call up a cool patch. So let's go over here to like the harmonies, like this. And now it's trying to tune my voice, but I go over here and I say MIDI. So I can play it. Now I can play. Oh, let's see here. Test. Why don't I have MIDI? Huh. I had this working with MIDI. Testing 1, 2. Huh. 100%. I don't hear the effect anymore. Testing 1, 2 song. If I set this to MIDI instrument, it's huh. Is our audio inputs passing MIDI through, Paul?
Sorry, I was muted. It's independent. If you have the audio input enabled, the MIDI should still be working on the layer, which is quite handy for synths that have, say, for example, a built-in sidechain input on the synth itself. Then you could use it to do a vocoder or a compressor effect on your synth patch.
Yes.
I do know that works. So
yeah, I'll have to double check this. I'm not sure why it's not working. If I, because normally I can go like that and then it just does it to my voice, and so I'm not sure it's able to do the audio input you see. So it's time to tune to my voice. But
if I have to check that one, for sure, if you load a synth in the instrument box that has an audio input, it will. You'll be able to handle the MIDI and the audio at the same time.
Well, we'll have to check because
we'll just check because I'm not sure that if for some reason the audio input's not passing through the MIDI,
we'll fix it.
We'll fix it for sure because that's pretty important.
Yes. But you
I've
can
tested
see
with synths that have sidechain inputs and effects, and it's a lot of fun to process external instruments through, like for example, a modular synth like Hyperion, and do cool compression effects.
Yeah, I think maybe adding the audio effect, maybe at the moment it's not letting MIDI through when that's in the instrument slot. So we'll check that, and this is why we test these things to make sure it all works. And it's not out yet, so if it's not working, but it'll upload. Any vocoders, it's super easy to use inside of Unify now that you have audio input. You also have on the MIDI settings, if you go here, you can now have a MIDI output. And you can say what you want to connect it to. It's just one MIDI output, but it's 16 MIDI channels available of output. So when you're inside of a layer, if we initialize this patch, you'll notice we have a MIDI in channel, and we also have a MIDI out channel. So each layer, you can say MIDI channel 1 for this layer, turn on the MIDI little icon right here that sends MIDI from this layer. And so it just becomes super powerful to send to something that's now talking to a whole, get back up. whole system of MIDI configurable things. We've been testing it with our modular system, controlling other things. It works. It's great.
Right. And when you do that within the DAW, you can then pipe MIDI data from your Unify layers to another track in your DAW.
Right.
So you could have MIDI effects on the Unify layers, and they can affect the MIDI that's then going to your other instrument layers in your DAW if you so choose to do that.
Yes. Yes.
And each audio out in plugin mode is a virtual output. So you've got 16 virtual inputs and 16 virtual stereo outputs. So you can pipe the audio from the layers directly to one of those virtual outputs and then bring it into another track in your DAW.
Right. And so for our closing, because we're out of time, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you something with the built-in recorder. I've loaded up a patch, which is 7 layers plus the drum track. And I'm going to go over here to my recording options. And I'm going to say to record MIDI, all layers, and metronome. So it's going to record everything as separate stems. This means that each one of these 7 layers, the auxiliary bus 1, auxiliary bus 2, are each saved as separate audio files, plus the metronome. So when I come over here and I hit record, I'm going to set this to continuous. I'm going to give myself a count in because I'm going to want to play some stuff for a second before I start, and it will start recording as soon as I hit the record button. So I hit record. So it's recording. Anything I do right now in real time, it will change in the sound. So many of these DAW things, you go over here and you set it to bounce down and you can't do things while it's bouncing down. Here you can. So if I hit stop, I'm going to let it fade out. Let it fade out because you don't want to lose any of the tails. If I hit stop and then right click, boom, here's all the layers recorded as separate audio files and the MIDI data and the metronome. So the metronome is here, the master is here, and it labels each of the layers what patch was on that layer. So when you import it into your DAW, it's available for you to work with and you know what's going on and what it was and all that kind of stuff. So that's the power of this, is that you have the ability to do so much more with all of your plugins, integrate them, combine them, play something, and that bounce feature works inside of a DAW. So if you build the strings up with different string elements and so forth inside of Unify, you could bounce them out as separate stems just like that in real time. So it's very, very cool. It works really nicely. There's so much to this. So we are going to go back to work and we will be releasing on Friday, the 24th. So anything to add, my friend Paul?
Sorry, it takes me a little moment to unmute the
I know.
YouTube
That's why I'm like
unmute
giving
my
you a
audio.
lead in. So.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Thanks for the demos.
Yes.
It's a little bit hard for me because I can't listen to you and the channel at the same time, and for some reason you're piping your HydroSynth audio into the Zoom call, so it's really confusing me.
Oh.
But yeah, no, it's
sorry.
We're getting close. It's almost there. We'll take a look at what's going on with the audio input there.
Yes.
I'm not sure what's going on, but it should be passing through the MIDI. If it's a bug, we'll fix it. No worries.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing to fix. And very excited for the release date. And thanks for your support. And I'm very happy to work with you.
It's been wonderful.
And again, Shane, I must say, thank you, Shane, for all of the support with the transition and knowledge pickup. He's been extremely helpful. And he's got us out of some sticky situations recently with licensing issues.
Yeah.
And well done, Shane. It's an amazing product. It's all his foundational work. And we're just taking it to the next level now.
It's definitely been taken to a much higher level than it was. And it's been, working with both of you guys has been just like a highlight of my sound design career, to get to share thoughts and,
let's quickly mention that if you guys want to follow an interview with John next week, can you mention that now? Are you allowed to talk about
Well,
it?
Ian Dixon will be doing an interview on Wednesday. I don't know if it's a live stream or
Ah,
if it's going to be a pre-record to
it
play
could be a
back.
pre-record, yeah.
There's a couple other
He,
people that
he
we
does do
have.
live streams.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. We have to get up a little early because he's in the UK, but we will do that on Wednesday to talk about the adventure on an interview basis instead of sitting here playing sounds and stuff like that. So yeah, no, thank you to Shane. Also, thank you to all of you guys in the chat that have subscribed and done the update already to Unify 2. It's been really encouraging to us to see that support, and we really appreciate it. So thank you to all of you.
For sure.
Shout outs, everybody. Let's do our shout outs from wherever in the world you are. I'll send an email, or else maybe let's do this on the Facebook Unify Power Users group. I'll post information about the interview if I can get stuff from Ian on the details and if it's live and so forth like that, so you can watch it and stuff like that. Cool. Thank you, LowFin. That's very cool. A shout out from Eagle, Idaho. From Eagle, Idaho. I can't spell. This is like my favorite part of the live stream because I just get to see where in the world everybody is. You know, it's just awesome. Love seeing all of you guys here. So thank you for hanging out with us. It's been very fun. Shout out from San Jose, right on, Paul. Germany, Tennessee. Oh, so cool. Yeah. Finland, New Zealand. Isn't it cool that everybody just can like get together for the love of sound and hang out? So thank you all for joining us. Next week, we will, of course, have Unify 2 out. So we'll go through, I have a lot of patch design work to do this week to get us to the release date and stuff like that. There's already, I should also show you this. Check this out. If you right-click on the metronome, there are now 237 metronome patterns you can use. And the joy of this is that a lot of these are MIDI file based, so the timing isn't perfect. At the very, very top are the clicks. So let's say that you want to use this and you're going to call up, like, say, just a simple piano or something like that, right? So let's go standard library. Let's call back up the piano. So let's go the Church Steinway, right? So we're going to play and practice. And I go over here to the metronome and I say I want it to continue and I hit the metronome click. It's a click, right? Now I can right click on the click, the metronome, and I can choose different. I can have it do subs. Those won't be in there, but I can go to any of these drum patches. And that could be my metronome for I could practice my hand into that. If I go over here, I could go to Wonder Bra. That's a fun patch. So your metronome is not just a click anymore. And it's very easy to just call this up, go down the list, go, I want some percussion. So go down here to the World Percussion Kit, Bossa Nada Bossa. That's my metronome.
Yeah, the metronome can become a whole backing band for you because what you could potentially do is automate changing layers. So you could enable and disable the individual layers with one of those macro knobs on the metronome.
Yep.
And then you could assign that to a MIDI controller. And then you could change, the section of the song you're playing potentially with a different backing rhythm or different bass line, etc. So it's quite creative, quite a lot of stuff going on there.
Yes.
Personally, I'm excited to use it with the step sequencer. I want to make some patches where I'll be feeding one step sequencer into the next and keep going a few times to have some like ambient evolving music that way. That's kind of a fun thing I like to do.
Right. Someone's asking if the update is free. We've done 10 or 11 updates for free in the last 5 years for Unify 1. For this update to Unify 2, it is not a free update. We're putting, I I like to think of it of at least 5 times what it's worth value-wise, if not more, because Paul and I have been working on this for the last year, since January nonstop. So it's not something to just give away for free. We've made it very fair as a loyal thank you to all of you guys for the first 2 weeks. So until November 9th, there's a really beyond reasonable price for the upgrade to Unify 2. And then after that, it goes to $69 for the upgrade from Unify 1. And Unify 2 is now sitting at $149 retail because of all these new abilities and features and all the new samples, and nothing's for free. I mean, I have to pay for the downloads and all that kind of stuff. So we need to recoup some of that. So it's not a free upgrade, but I hope and trust you guys feel it's a fair request. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Paul. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you. And we have, but by the way, Unify 2 is not the end of our working relationship. We have all sorts of plans to do all sorts of things in the future. So we are just warming up. Unify 2 is our warm up, right?
Yeah. I'm muted again. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We've got more to come.
More to go.
There'll be some new features and additions, but also we've got some other projects planned in future.
Yes. 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 So really exciting times. So thank you all again for joining us. Can't wait to let you guys know. We'll let you know about the interview this coming week if it's live. We'll let you know when Unify is available. Those of you that have pre-ordered, all you have to do is log in, go to your products page, and there will be links to download Unify 2 and the library. It will be multiple downloads because of its size, but you just install them one at a time sequentially, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will be there for you to go. So yeah, thank you. We will see you next week. And thank you again, Paul. It's been a pleasure to have you here with me to hang out. It's like I've learned new things today that I didn't even know about with the right clicking and stuff in the filter interface. That's awesome. So, you know, there's more to learn, obviously, because it's very deep. All right, everybody.
Excellent.
See you next week.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
Paul.
everybody.